Hello and welcome to another episode of DALRRDTalk, Asikhulume Aribuwe. My name is Prince Mtsweni. Today we are in conversation with Ms. Selina Hlabedi and her son Thabang Hlabedi. Ms. Hlabedi is the founder of kwa-Hlabedi farm and the Queen of Bonsmara based in Gauteng. On her 489-hectare farm in the Vaal, where she specializes in producing Bonsmara cattle and sheep, we explore into her knowledge of livestock production. We further discover the techniques that underpin her successful production of soy, maize, and vegetables, with a focus on the main source of revenue. Ms. Hlabedi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prince.
And how are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you.
And Thabang, good day to you.
Good day to you, man.
And how are you doing this afternoon?
Great stuff, I'm okay.
Well, thanks. Thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with us, and also for welcoming the DALRRDTalk team to your farm. On a more social atmosphere, do tell us who Miss Selina Hlabedi is.
Okay, Prince. Miss Selina Hlabedi. I'm well known by the name Pinky. The Pinky name came from the nurse who used to serve my mom at home after giving birth to me.
Okay.
My lips were pink when they tell me.
Okay.
So every time when she walks in to dress me, she will keep on saying, Pinky, Pinky. It's then that name I grew up with as Pinky.
Oh, okay.
But funny enough, it's not on my ID. Well, Pinky, she's a single woman with 3 children, 1 boy and 2 girls. Pinky, she's a mother, she's a sister, she's a friend. And Pinky, she loves working with people. She's a social person.
Okay.
She sometimes even forget that Pinky she has a family to look after, but concentrating of looking after others.
Yes, yes.
So I schooled from lower primary in Motsaneng, in Soweto, and actually I was born in Joshkoch.
Okay.
Where there is a Joshkoch hostel and the Joshkoch industrial. Our homes were around there. So we were removed in 1974 to Soweto. Then we stayed in Mapetla. We were removed during 76 when the war was extremely hot between the Zulus in the hostel and the township people. Then we were moved to Koma Road, Mkababa.
Okay.
The place is called Mkababa, but initially it's Mulapo Extension. Pinky grew up in a dusty area, went to school in Motsaneng. Higher primary, it was Mabewani. Those are historical schools.
Yes.
And secondary, it was Skanondwani. The Skanondwani produced lots of politicians. Mayatula, Nandi Mayatula. I know most of them. Vuyo, the late Vuyo from SABC. Is it Vuyo Mvokone?
Yes.
And it produced lots of politicians. They used to call it Beirut during our term. It's where we learned lots of history about our country when the war was still hot.
Yes.
But we are not on that platform now. So as Pinky grew up in those dusty areas, I've learned a lot of stuff, how to deal with people. Started cooking soup for the senior citizen. Remember when our grannies and our mothers, when they go and get pension, they were queuing in the old municipality rental offices. And you wake up as early as 3 o'clock to stand in the queue for your grandmother. I then discovered that these old women, they need a soup. I was cooking a soup, sometimes a soft porridge, carried with a baguette and few cups.
Wow.
By then, I was selling a cup at 50 cents. Comes 6:30, I go back home, the soup is finished, soft porridge is finished, get ready for school. I will run to secondary school. Come back lunchtime, I will eat the very soup or soft porridge at home. This thing of a school kid these days getting 10 rand or 20 rand as a pocket money. Some of us, we don't know it. So, yeah, that's it about my social part, and became a mom. We had a house in Protea Glen where I also established socially a team of women who were unemployed. We started a feeding scheme, but by then I was working as I started working at UJ.
Yes.
By then it was Vista University.
Oh, yes, yes.
Surprisingly, I was a lab technician when I started there.
Oh,
When
wow.
they established a science block, they battled together. It's a lab technician graduated from the BTech, the colleges.
Yes.
With an experience that I acquired from working previously at Genco. Genco, it's a chemical company. I was in the lab. I was trained how to mix chemicals. That company was doing floor polish. So all those things that are mixed with chemicals and the candles sometimes. So because of that little knowledge, then UJ developed me. I've got a product today of PhD out of what I was doing at UJ, and I never believe it. Sometimes when the lecture is not there, they will just pick up the call and say, hey, take the textbook, page so and so and so and so, go and do the practicals for the students. I will go running, prepare everything, but mind you, come out of that class, I've got good students. All of them, they will get good marks. That's how I ended up. I've got 2 matric certificates. One is general, the other one is science.
Wow.
I added physical science and mathematics in my certificate. And mind you, it was first time I do them, but I've got E on both of them. By then, E was the highest marks. For us, it was a varsity entrance, of course.
Yeah.
So I then registered with UNISA. I did BSc until second year. Bursaries by then were very scarce. I then dropped out, then had babies. I started working. That's how I ended up in the UJ. Then I moved out of UJ because I was not qualified. They then promoted me to be the secretary for science faculty. I've worked there for about 8 years. Then I quitted and joined SAPS. In SAPS, I became the secretary, executive secretary in the exit of George Fivers, which is the history in making.
Yes, the previous National Police Commissioner who served under the Nelson Mandela administration. Yes.
Then it was just for only 1 year, 6 months, then he left. I then worked with Ntate Silebi. From Ntate Silebi, I was moved and worked with Commissioner Pretorius in Joburg Central.
Yes.
They used to call it John Foster. Commissioner Pretorius, he was old, of course. He went on pension. And Director Khaleds, he passed on. Then I've worked with Commissioner Naidu. Wow. I have learned a lot to work with Commissioner Naidu.
It's quite a journey that
and it was during the MEC Nomvula Mukonyane. It was so interesting and I've learned a lot. And I enjoyed my work. And she used to call me Nkosazana. And she used to call, this one I will say it, and I'm always proud to say it, that he's the one who changed the system in the police service where the whites were no longer getting promotions. They were getting promotions without skill. Our own well-educated police officers, they never got senior positions easily. But Commissioner Naidu made a history. all these whites, they were running away. Asking yourselves why? It's because they were no longer getting that soft life they used to get. Then I moved from subs and joined WAD. While I joined WAD, I was attracted when we were serving the community in the township, seeing the street being dirty, organized all the community that are unemployed. We were contributing monies in each home, paying salaries for these people, and the project grown up until we do the backyard gardens. The love of farming came from there. Even though when I grew up, I was assisting my grandmother. We had no boys by then. So I was the one after school taking care of the plankies, putting water, Right, we did those backyard gardens and move out of the backyard gardens. And Melulu announced about what? I went to Department of Agriculture and inquire. Then they said, here's the right person. I met Anna. It's where I met Anna. Then Anna explained to me about what? It was 2005, 2006. There was an event organized by the minister at ICC Durban. It's where she was launching what internationally. It was an International Women's Day. So I was, since by then, became a farmer. I started as an inspirational farmer by then. I never had a plot. I never had a land to plant to. It was those backyard gardens we used to do for the programs of HIV and AIDS people who were within your community, then providing those vegetables to them. Then with that passion, I became the chairperson of Joburg Metro under WAD. Then it went on and on and on. I became the chairperson of the region. It's Joburg Metro, it's the region. Then the provincial chairperson in Gauteng. Then Secretary General nationally. Then hence today, I'm the president of WAD. I was elected 2023 in March. I think socially I will end there. I will stop there.
Yeah, that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
That's quite a journey, really. So now let's get to the business of the day. kwa-Hlabedi, the farm.
Before you go there, my apologies.
Okay.
There's one important part I left behind. I started traveling abroad because of the community work, not because of agriculture. I traveled to Lesotho, Botswana, Zambia, Maputo, Zimbabwe, Swaziland, not Ghana. I've quoted Zambia, Ethiopia, Brazil, and New York. That was before I became a member of WAD. Then, Mali. I forgot Mali. Then after those trips and became a member of WAD, then I again being appointed to further my trainings in New York, which is Michigan. They took me to White House, Michigan State University. It was in East Lansing, and Orlando. New York, it was the program of CSW, the Commission of State of Women. So I was part for about 3 years, 3 following years attending it. Yes.
Yeah. No, you can tell by the history that, it's quite a journey that you've traveled.
Too much.
It's quite a journey that you've traveled to be where you are today. So do tell us about the history and the background of kwa-Hlabedi farm.
Okay. Phew, yeah. After all these trips I quoted, and I would love to start by acquiring this farm.
Okay.
Because Anna offered me a working space after I exhausted my funds, farming, hiring the structures from the people. Actually, I applied the farm since 2005, until I got a farm 10 years back. I battled to be given a farm, why I don't know, but I attended interviews as a cooperative. It was women only. Again, as a secondary co-op, which we were mixed with men and youth. Again, another co-op, which it was women and youth, until I went solo. That's the journey before I got a farm. And all of them, I was receiving the acknowledgement letter. And they were communicating, like giving those hopes that you'll be in the farm the next so and so date.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it never worked out. And all the farms, out of 118 farms I acquired, I would say 80% women are in those farms. From Machalis, in Machalis, it's Bramfley, it's, all those surrounding municipalities in Machalis.
Yes.
Those farms were there. But I never gave up. I continued searching for a farm until I hired the chicken structures in Zirbekom. I did the broilers there. When you go, it's so painful to farm when you produce, to not sleep where your produce is. When you go home, coming back the following day, either the dogs entered into the structure of the chickens or thieves were there midnight. But you'll only see the feathers hooked up or in the walls. But you can't see the bones and the rest of the chickens where they are. Then I discovered that here, instead of me losing this profit, let me come up with another plan. I said to the farm owners, let's partner.
Okay.
I will bring the resource, you will bring your land and your structures. Mind you, from that day until I left them, there were no dogs entering the structures. I'm saying this so that it should motivate people that don't think when you use somebody's land, you will benefit 100%. Even if you are paying the rental there, but something that will make your heart, feel bad, it will happen. And you must accept it until you get your own working space. Then Anna Posa, they got a farm with Balimi Balikwa. When she left Balimi Balikwa, got a bigger farm, she said to me, Pinky, here's a farm, a plot, 2.5 hectares. I was doing piggery here. I left it for other farmers, but I can see they are not doing what they are supposed to do. Can you take care of this plot until you got your own farm? Indeed, I screamed and jumped. Mind you, the grass was on top of the roof. You wouldn't see the structures or anything in that plot.
Yeah.
I sat down. By then, I was a member of Black Umbrella. I don't know whether you know the Black Umbrella. The Black Umbrella, it's all these companies, big companies, they formulated that Black Umbrella enterprise to fund the small businesses. I got a call over a night from a white lady. Hey, are you still farming? I said, oh, how am I going to answer this? I said, yes, I'm still farming, but currently I'm battling. The grass, it's on top of the roof. I don't have a tractor. I don't have money to farm. She screamed and said, oh, I've got the right person. I said, what? You've got a right person for what? No, my dear, let's meet at your working space tomorrow, 8 o'clock sharp. Hey, I called Anna. I'm in Soweto. Anna is here in Vanderbilt Park. Anna, I got a call like this and that and that. Anna said, hey, I'm going to pick you up now. It's 9 o'clock midnight. I said, you will try. She said to me, I'm on my way. Anna and the husband came and picked me up. I slept here. 7 o'clock, we drove out to Titir. I didn't know where to start even to open up the grass. These ladies arrived. It was 3 white ladies. They introduced themselves. They were excited that, look, we picked your name from our list of all the small businesses that we need to fund. You are the right person. We want to see this place green with vegetables. Hey, it was like a dream come true, a dream come true.
I can imagine. I really can imagine.
Quickly, we went out, looked for the tractors with Anna, start removing grass. There was one guy who was looking after the plot. He was a former worker for Anna. He organized other farmers. We bought the seedlings. Immediately the following day, this company gave me 100,000. I did all this out of 100,000, clearing the farm, fixing things and the electrical fence, bought the seedlings. When they came, they gave me a balance the following day after I gave them the slip, the receipts. Then I finish off the program. It's then the department realized that here it looks like we are leaving somebody important behind. I also invited them because these guys, they came to launch the program and the department came, they were excited. I planted 50,000 head of cabbages. I planted 10,000 spinach, 10,000 beetroot, 5,000 chilies and green pepper. So from there, I was in the system of Department of Agriculture as a full-time farmer, and I was funded by the Black Umbrella.
Okay.
After a year, it then comes this event of Minister Nkwinti where I voiced out that I don't have a farm. The following day, I was taken to this farm, which was 2014. Then since 2014 to date, part of the history, I'm here farming. So I'm here, I was given the farm by the Department of Agriculture. Now, in part of the history, this farm is for cattle. We found the 30 Brahman, very beautiful Brahman cattle. We found the Brahman here. There were no field that shows that they were planting. When I inquired from the previous owner, the farm rested 20 years back before, after they planted. Hey, to plant a virgin soil, it's very expensive. My head rolls. But because God is great all the time, and I'm within the people who have been long in this game, they encouraged me, they showed me the easy way how to deal with the fields. We then started organizing ourselves. We clear up the field, we clear up the camps. This farm has 13 camps. Initially, it's 11. 13 is added by the field that I've planted. Okay. Because after harvesting, it's also part of grazing. We put the animals in those camps to eat all those leftovers in the harvesting.
Okay.
It has 13 camps and we've got water in each camp. The water is running and we've got enough water under the ground, but the boreholes out of 6, only 1 was functional. We fixed another one. There were 2. We fixed another one. There are 3 now. Then GDART, they gave us another borehole here next to the gate, which is going to assist us with a pivot that they installed. But unfortunately, the reservoir belongs to the other camp, which is the neighbor. Okay. It's not within the farm.
All right.
So now we had to stack until they help us with this borehole so that we do the reservoir that can feed that pivot there.
All right.
So I found 2 old gentlemen who were working in this farm, looking after animals only. We worked and worked. They showed us all the boundaries and, I attended the pre-training while the previous owner still in the farm. Then afterwards, when we were growing, started with a small 1 hectare vegetable, we employed another person to assist because every morning you'll have to check the boundaries of the farm to tighten up the fence. So it was a lot of work because this farm, it's big. It's 489.9. When you round it up, it's 490. So we went on until we identify where they used to plant 20 years back. Mind you, we started with 100, then we planted 50 with the production we used to be given by GDALRRD. Then we come to another 50. Remember, when you sell, you are growing a bit, you save, you grow slowly. Until today, we are planting 200 out of 268. Our
Arable land.
arable land. Our arable land is 268, but we managed to clear 200 because the farm is extremely rocky. So out of these 200, 100 we planted yellow maize. 75 we used to plant 100 maize, 100 yellow maize, 100 white maize. Then we change, we rotate with soya. We planted 100 yellow maize. We planted 75 soya, and then we planted 10 hectares of green maize for cash flow and planted 15 for white maize.
Okay.
Right. After we did that, growing the field, then we also increased our vegetable garden to 2 hectares, then employed more workers. From 2, today we have 6.
Oh yeah, that's quite a jump.
Yeah. We have 6 farm workers. The 6 include 1 intern. Continuously since I've grown up, they keep on giving me 1 intern. Unfortunately, because we don't have enough space to accommodate other interns, I'm still gonna fix the houses up there. All in all, I can accommodate 10 of the interns, which is my wish because I like youth to grow.
Yes, that's true.
I've experienced something since I'm into farming. White farmers are farming with their great-grandkids. They go to school after school, they come, they know that they have to do their homeworks, but rush to the field. They are the ones who will report to the grandfather, hey, the maize is turning yellow. The chemical is not enough here. This, you will ask yourself how this child knew. It's because when he was still an infant, he was walking with the mother to the field. They do listen, kids. They learn. So hence today the farms we are occupying is the 3rd or 4th generation from these whites. Our wish is to see our own kids to follow what the previous farmers used to do, to farm with us so that this farming, it shouldn't stop with us. It must be generation per generation.
That's so true.
Which is going to help the country to sustain the food basket. Right. While we are still on that part of history of the farm, I've quoted the production in the farm that it's beef, grain, and vegetables.
Yes, you've touched on that.
Yes, and the workers also, especially my workers, it's youth. Before I forgot, I used to have a big project here of EPWP. We employed close to 80 youth.
72, 76.
Oh, he's correcting me, 76
Okay.
youth. They used to remove the bankrupt bush where there is grazing. The bankrupt bush, it was chowing the grass for the cattle to graze.
To graze on, yes.
Then they were removing that for a period of 2 years and cutting the alien trees. So we had a quite experience working with lots of youth, but it was interesting and enjoying. I ended up creating a football club, which I sponsored, but they disappointed me when they left after the project. Oh, well, they didn't disappoint us. I remember it was COVID. COVID disappointed us. After COVID, kids disappeared, others passed on, others, they got sick, others, they were less interested. They then found jobs in other farms. But I felt happier because I developed those youth. I think I will stop there with a part of history. If there's anything I left behind, our manager here, which is my successor in the farm. He can maybe add if I left something.
You said everything. The only thing that was left is for you to say the bank account number of the business, the phone number, and everything.
Okay, I can say that this is a fully fledged business running. It is registered with CIPC.
Okay.
It has the accountant. I'm the bookkeeper by profession anyway.
Yes.
I've done a lot, guys. I've done a lot.
Yes.
I know how to do bookkeeping because the trainings I acquired through GDART and CERNIC. It has farm management, business management. It also helped us to develop our own business plan, to do our own business profiles. You know what? Even I can Google these accounting methods. No need for me to pay when you do the salaries.
So you are well equipped.
So yes, I'm well equipped.
No, thank you. Thanks a lot for that part of the history. I think before we speak about the breeding of Bonsmara cattle, I'd like Thabang to formally introduce himself and just tell us a bit about himself and what it is that he does around the farm. Thabang, the floor is yours.
Okay. By name, lebitso la ka ke Thabang. Le la makgowa ke Queen of Bonsmara. So basically, I'm the farm manager here at kwa-Hlabedi farming. Me Pinky, as she's well known, Selina, she's my mother, the farm owner. So what I can say about myself is I'm very curious, very inquisitive. I love learning. Look, I love being kept on my toes. Let me just put it that way. I love being kept on my toes. I love exploring. I love animals. You know, I love experimenting a lot. That's who I am, and I love working with people. Work with people. So that's me. But especially also love being involved in youth development type of stuff, type of things. So that's actually where my head is and who I am in a nutshell. And I'm the manager here at kwa-Hlabedi in farming. I actually came here in the farm. It was 2014 when my mother got the farm. So, but then 2014, I wasn't fully present due to having other responsibilities at Soweto. So, but then in the long run, within a year after that, then I managed to be fully fledged here at the farm, 100%, being able to take those responsibilities and bring them here, having that opportunity to. So ever since I've been here and I've been teaching myself a lot, I've been learning a lot from other farmers. I've been learning a lot from the Department of Agriculture, because I've also been going through trainings provided by the ARC, you know, and CERNIC. It's not just them. I forgot, my apologies. There's this other company, I forgot their name, but I'll remember their name and I'll mention them. I'll give you a shout out. Basically learning through them, learning through those institutions, and also teaching other people, myself, as me being young and me loving to come up with new ideas, things that have never been done before into the agricultural sector, you know, coming up with innovative ways of farming, also something that can, I think, encourage the youth so they can also step into the whole farming venture. Because one thing that I've picked up is that most of the youth, they have the stereotype that farming is actually for the elderly only. Farming is boring. You know, farming is just for people that are actually ready to just sit down and do nothing. Actually, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Farming actually needs someone that's extremely active. It needs someone that can run around the whole day, literally on foot. It needs someone that's proactive, that can think quick, that can think on their toes. It needs someone that's innovative, you know. So all of those things, they actually entail youth. So hence the reason why I always try to come up with innovative ways that can suit and benefit us as the youth, in order for us to be able to get and bear interest into farming. And hopefully I'll be able to rope the rest of the youth into doing that. So in a nutshell, that's me.
No, thank you so much, Thabang, for giving us a sneak preview into who you are. So now let's talk about breeding of Bonsmara cattle. How did it all start? And if I may add to that, why the Bonsmara breed in particular?
Okay, I will give a brief how it started. And then I will talk about how it started, and then the champion behind this Bonsmara, it's our manager Thabang will talk about it. How it started, it's so amazing. I used to hear about DALRRDT. Umuntu uncedwa uNkulunkulu and umuntu akalahleki. You'll ask yourself why I'm saying this. After discovering the blow of the brucellosis in the farm, the state vet advised that we should sell all the crawl. And we had several meetings here, national and provincial office gathered here in the farm. They only discovered that when, the farm was bought, the previous person was supposed to be part of this farm, passed on before signing the farm. And when they bought a farm, they never tested animals. There was even no file in the office that shows that this farm has animals. I then applied for the Nguni program.
Okay.
The Nguni program helped me so much because blood test was needed. You know, I breeded those Brahmans very well. They were more beautiful than the Bonsmaras. I fell in love with those animals. Unfortunately, when they were tested for blood test, the entire crawl was positive. Then the state vet said to me, no, we'll keep on doing it. It's not possible, the entire crawl. They keep on coming every 3 months, only to discover 25 will go out, 15 out, 60 out. Then the state vet said, senior state vet, Mediatana came and said, look, we will call the meetings. How did this brucellosis capture this farm? Did you buy animals from the auctions and whatnot? I said, nothing. Since I came here, I've been breeding with these animals. I never bought it somewhere else. Indeed, they discovered that the farm was bought, animals were never tested. I got rid of the animals. We bought sheep, and then we bought some of the Bonsmaras here. Part of the sheep's 2078 was stolen, highly pregnant with twins. While we are nursing the pain of losing the 78, following year, they hit me with 200. The entire crawl of the sheep was gone. Hence, today, you don't see me having any small stock because we discovered that small stock is problematic until you have a very strong security, which our security, we are planning even to have the life security that will rotate the farm with a horse. Even during the day, there must be someone who can rotate the farm with a horse because these guys, they are entering the farm midday, sit somewhere in the corners watching your movements. So if we can do that, including cameras and other stuff, it will help. Then we can bring back the small stock. Right. I attended the SAMIC competition, accompanying Anna with the piggery. It's where we met Cernik. They asked me, what do you do, Me? Then Me responded and say, I'm in a cattle farm, but currently I'm battling with the brucellosis. Then this guy danced and became happy and said to me, you know what? I'm going to help you. I then said, why are you happy and dance? It's because I'm going to get rid of those animals. He doesn't understand. I love those animals. But Yana is happy that I must get rid of them. So indeed, they visited me and then they asked me, Cernic, to organize a farmer's day. I did that, invited animal farmers. They attended. We had a beautiful day that day because we learned lots of things as livestock farms. After that, they then had a job fund. They put me, Tate Mukoka, and other few farmers here into their Free State program. It's where, after we passed all those trainings we were doing there for 2 years, then we had these Bonsmaras. Already we bought few from them, the Bonsmaras, with the money we got when we sell those Brahman. So the rest I will leave it to my son because he's the champion behind in terms of the nutrition, in terms of vaccination, in terms of how to check the body score. Hence, you see them beautiful today. Thank you.
No, thank you for that, Ms. Hlabedi. Thabang, care to add on the breeding of Bonsmaras?
Well, there's a lot that I can add. There's a lot. Look, one of the reasons why we chose to go the Bonsmara route, besides the brucellosis problem, and all those hardships that we had to go through, looking at the business side of things and the business aspect of things, I think it makes more sense, to go with the Bonsmara. Number one, the most important thing about them, their temperament. They have a very low temperament. So since they have a very low temperament, it makes it easier for one to work with.
Okay.
So now the easier it is for you to work with something, the quicker you work with it. And the quicker you work with it, the more time you have to grow and into it, ready it and be able to make profit or money out of it. You understand? So one of the main reasons is that the temperament. And another thing is their motherly abilities. They have very good motherly abilities. And they give birth. Their calves, how can I put it? Their calves have a tendency of being small when they come out, but then as soon as they hit the ground, they grow up rapidly.
Okay.
You understand? So now you get a very fast growing rate. And something that I've also picked up about them, their FCR, there's this thing we call an FCR, their feed conversion ratio. It's really quick. It's really quick, you understand? So they can pick up in an instant, just like that. So it makes more sense and makes more business sense, basically, to farm with Bonsmaras. There's a lot that I can mention about them, and also the quality of the meat that we shouldn't also forget. And one other important thing, remember, it's a proudly a South African breed. Okay. You understand? Okay. So remember that it was created or made by Dr. Bonsmara himself. You understand? So it's a South African. So one of the other reasons, it's a South African breed. So I think it's only fair that we support ourselves as South Africans going forward, as much as I'm also on the verge of trying to make my own breed that hopefully tomorrow it will be supported as much as the Bonsmara Association is also being supported. So there's a lot that I can mention. I can even write textbooks and all that, but then let's just leave that for another day.
No, that's how much of a passion they are to you.
Yeah.
I can tell from the way that you are explaining about the breed.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
No, thanks a lot for that, Thabang. The Kaonafatso ya Dikgomo Livestock Recording Scheme that is managed by the Agricultural Research Councils. Yeah. The kwa-Hlabedi farm is a member of that.
Yes,
could you tell us more about it?
There's a lot that I can say about Kaonafatso ya Dikgomo. Actually, the first thing I think it's only right that I should say is, as Tina Basha would say, shout out to ARC Kaonafatso ya Dikgomo. Shout out, yes. See, the reason why I'm saying that and I'm shouting them out is, I can safely say that they've played a role in kwa-Hlabedi being kwa-Hlabedi right now. They've helped a lot in terms of also development. If it wasn't of Kaonafatso ya Dikgomo, let's basically the record keeping part of it. You know, if it wasn't of them at some point, and also Sernik as well, if it wasn't of them, I wouldn't be having the knowledge that I have today when it comes to record keeping. So much to a point that actually I got encouraged to make my own way, my own forms of record keeping, and also added other things on top of what they have onto them, you know, and it's all because of them. So there's a lot that I can say about those guys, you know. I, I love how they love to get the youth involved. Mostly that's one thing that I've picked up recently, you know, because every time when they come specifically, they come for the youth. They come and check how is the youth performing here? How is the youth doing what they need to do or what needs to be done in terms of record keeping, livestock and all that, you know, agriculturally, you know, and they spreading the wings. They actually helping the youth to spread to spread their wings in a lot of ways, man. For instance, even when Mr. Ndonga is here, the one thing he always encourages me to do is also be able to enter this thing. My apologies, I forgot that competition. What do they call it? But then it's run by the ARC also, and I think also Kauna Fatsarikom is also part of it. Platinum pool competition.
Oh, the platinum
There's
pool
yes,
competition.
the platinum pool competition. You know, they also encouraging for us to do that. So Kauna Fatsarikom is actually doing a lot, and we have a lot of history with them behind them, and it's all thanks to them. I know what I know today. You know, there's a lot that I can say about those guys, and also the training they also keep on providing. Also the business side of livestock. You know, they also do assist in that. So yeah, it's a lot I can say about those guys.
So you would say that being part of the program has really helped you guys.
A lot. I've stretched to other lengths that I've never thought that I could due to them.
Okay. No, thank you. And in terms of the challenges, especially the challenges in farming, what are the major challenges that kwa-Hlabedi farm faces, and how do you go about dealing with these?
Yeah. That one, so painful to talk about the challenges, especially the working capital. I will start with the working capital. You know, people might think when they see you having lots of kettles, you've got a lot of money. It's not true. Because you cannot sell every day, every week, or every month. You sell once a year. You sell maize once a year. Vegetables, it's a small change to maintain smaller things in the farm. But to maintain fully your farm and take care of your workers, take care of the big assets in the farm, you need a real working capital. I would say with the working capital, department failed us. And I know why I'm saying this. There was a promise when they started this program of farming. They know that most of us, we come from the disadvantaged groups and families, if I may say so. And there is no way when you start farming here, you will start with 20,000 or 50,000. It needs 1 million upwards. I remember during Melulu Kimwana, she tried to teach us how to look for funds and investors outside.
Yes.
And she came up with a good scheme together with the land bank by then, that when they buy a farm, let the farm be bought, and before the person can go to the farm, be hand over the farm. Let there be a working capital of 2 million. If the farm, they must build up the business plan, be ready. And all the stuff that is needed in that farm must be bought. When you enter the farm, you enter with 2 million of a working capital. You won't stack, not unless there is a disaster that came into your farm. Then you can be stacked. But generally, with such help, you won't be stacked. But it looks like when we quote the working capital, people doesn't understand why the working capital. That's a major, major challenge. Secondly, it's a stock theft. Stock theft and theft in the farm. Whoa. Since we black farmers, we are being the majority in the farms, it's a problem. Stealing is every day, especially the small stock. And the big stock, which is the cattle, the large stock, they slaughter them within your farm.
Wow.
Because they can't drive them further. Slaughter them still alive. They cut them the joints. Then they open it up, take all the pieces they want and left what they don't want. It's cruelty in animals. Another challenge is fencing. When you have especially a livestock, actually in all the farms, all types of productions, they need a fence.
So they need proper
fencing. Proper fencing. Proper fencing is needed. The farm will be bought with this 3 lines farm, fencing, and the farmer will just do it temporarily because he wants to sell the farm. After a year or 2 years, that farm collapsed, and these Nyaupe boys, they are stealing the steel poles, the ester poles. You'll be left with nothing. All the fence will lie down. So that's a big challenge to fence the entire farm. Mind you, you don't have a proper working capital. They steal your ester poles. The entire fence will fall, and you have the livestock. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You see, it's a big challenge.
Yes.
And fencing on its own, it's very expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah, there's this one, the devilish one, fire. Fire, it's a mess. You don't know what if this fire, where it starts from. And sometimes when it's overheated like this, if there is a little bit of oil on top of the stone, and it can fall into the real dry grass, there comes a fire there. So this fire thing, why I'm saying it's a devilish thing, after you had this problem of a fire, you will report to the department. There's a unit called disaster management. It does nothing for us. This farm caught fire 5 times. And across the road, we discovered that you saw the fence, the entire fence, it's no longer there in the farm.
Yes.
There are guys who are staying that side, those who are stealing and selling these ester poles. They are taking out those poles, and sometimes when we planted maize, that's why we planted soya this time. With the maize, they will go behind with the bicycles and bags full of maize, and when it comes drying time, they will burn. While you are sleeping, there's a fire smoking. And when you call the firefighters, we are afraid these days. You call the firefighters, they measure your fire. After a month, you get a huge bill of 30-something thousand, 40-something thousand to pay. That time you've got a loss. How are you going to pay the 40-something? When I grew up, the firefighter, they were never paid. But I'm surprised here in the farms, we are even reluctant, both black and white farmers. We don't call the firefighters. When you call the firefighter, it's at your own risk. So those are the challenges we're having. It's working capital, stock theft, fire, and fencing. I don't know if I forgot any.
Yeah, those are the major problems actually that we always stumble across. Obviously, machinery has to go hand in hand with
The
working capital. Basically, I'd say the umbrella of the entire thing, or rather the entire section there, it's working capital, basically. Because the more you have working capital, the more you'll be able to cover up wherever you need to cover up, security to avoid theft and other things to avoid fires.
So in terms of, we know that you've been in the farming for quite some time. It's almost 17 to 18 years now. There's a number of leadership roles that you hold in various agricultural organizations. Care to share with us a few of these?
Yeah. When the Women in Agriculture and Rural Development was launched in 2006 at ICC in Devon by Minister Lulu Xingwana. It's then they launched what internationally. Then I was elected as the chairperson of the Joburg Metro within the region. And within 3 years, because our constitution by then was saying 3 years, I was elected as the provincial chair, the Gauteng provincial chair. Then I became the secretary general. During those periods, it's when we were acquiring land for women, acquiring trainings. Phew, we used to work hard more than like officials themselves. That's why they were suspicious that we want to take their jobs, not knowing that we are even volunteers, we are not getting paid. So, because we were given office space within the provincial offices,
Okay.
so both ward and yard, we were given office space and the telephone line. Because we didn't have funds to run the organization, so the minister opted to assist us. Then later, I was the secretary general nationally. Then, hence today, I've been elected as the president of Women in Agriculture. While we were busy as WAD, then Minister Nkwinti launched the agri parks. Before it was DAMC, remember? Then I was the treasurer in Sebokeng here, in CDB. I'm the treasurer of AgriPark in CDB. Then after change of administration, Metro Titiza came with FSPU, Farmer Support Program Unit, yes. Then I continued as the treasurer till today, where we acquired the machinery for our own farmers. And we are working hand in glove with the department to develop farmers. And it makes happy all the time to see a person that I helped become happy. Hence, you find one of the mentee who was sitting here. You call him at any given time, Tony will come running to assist. We can code lots of farmers that we developed as AgriPark. And also, we salute the Department of Land Reform and GDART to intervene and assist with the machinery and those seeds. Even though GDART these days, they are battling to get the inputs for us. But I can assure you, most of the farmers, they were developed by this national department, agriculture, and the provincial one. So I'm happy to be part of these programs because it's where also you are gaining experience with the different challenges of people.
Yes.
And when you resolve them, then you know how to resolve it for yourself tomorrow. So that's where the empowerment is.
I guess it's safe to say that your footprint in the agricultural sector is quite key. Yeah, if I have to say so. So, kwa-Hlabedi farm, the future plans.
Hey, that one,
we don't asking for the secret ones. We're just asking, on a light note.
Hi, unfortunately, this family doesn't have the secrets. Hey, we give out until somebody says, no, this is enough. Look, our future plans, firstly, because the farm in commercialization, we forgot to mention that I was part of the 54 who were nominated for commercialization.
That's an achievement. So there you have it. It's been quite an eventful and insightful conversation with Ms. Hlabedi and her son. I'd like to thank both of you for taking the time to have this insightful conversation with DALRRDTalk. This has been, quite mind-boggling, insightful, and mind-opening, just to say the least. So we've come to the farm of kwa-Hlabedi farm, where the Queen of Bonsmara, Ms. Hlabedi, who is a mother, a sister, a grandmother, and a woman of substance, also a community leader who's passionate about upliftment of women, and not forgetting her most important role and passion, that being a resilient farmer that she is. For current news, development, better insight, and credible info about the department, do follow us on our social media platform. We are on Facebook as the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. We are on X, Instagram, and TikTok at DALRRDGov_ZA, and we are also on WhatsApp channel at DALRRDGov_ZA. You can catch this very episode of our podcast on Spotify and YouTube podcast at DALRRDTalk. This is DALRRDTalk, Asikhulume Aribue, and Ms. Hlabedi and Thabang. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.